to another installment of the Piledriver Podcast. As always, I am the hype man, Bruce Jr., but you might know me as the macho hype man from YouTube. Oh yeah! And today I'm joined by the Golden Knight, MGG, and Max Pavlak, otherwise known as MAXAMANIA. He's running wild on YouTube.
MGG, who is rocking a new mustache, if anyone notices.
Yes, sir.
And in today's installment, we are going to be talking about F1RST Wrestling's Saturday Night Nitro.
Yes, sir. Coming live to the Mall of America this Saturday night, and we got a fan fest tomorrow night. It's going to be a big weekend here in Minnesota for professional wrestling.
Now this is the second,
along with those two.
and now this is the second year that F1RST Wrestling is hosting Saturday Night Nitro in the Mall of America in the David Rotunda, because last year they had it. They also had a fan fest last year where they had some big names involving such as superstars such as Rob Van Dam, All Ego Ethan Page, Colt Boom Boom Cabana, Dante Martin, along with many others. And in this year, they're going to be having superstars such as Eric Redbeard, Matt Hardy, Alundra Blaze, along with many others who we are all going to get the opportunity to meet.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I think this is going to be a good one, and it's my first time actually going to a Nitro. I sadly had to give up my tickets to my two cousins last year because I was in Israel.
Yeah, last year, Max and I, along with our buddy Julian, all went to Saturday Night Nitro, where we actually got to sit in the Golden Circle area, where we were guaranteed front row tickets in one of the first 3 rows.
And
yes, sir. And this year we're going for a front row. We're gonna shoot for it.
You better believe it, because me and Max are YouTubers, and we're trying to get those number of subscriptions up.
Yes, sir.
we should totally YouTube at the Fan Fest too.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a big weekend. And, I mean, if you're looking back in history, Mall of America is unique but a pretty historic venue for professional wrestling. I mean, you look back September 4th, 1995, the first ever WCW Monday Nitro took place right there in the Rotunda, Mall of America. And then over 30 years later, they returned last year, and the event was such a success that here we are again.
Sorry, I had to do that whole Bret Hart thing.
Yeah,
I see what you're doing. So,
but yeah, it's going to be a big one. And if I may say so, there's always a lot of surprises with F1RST Wrestling. And I have some speculation of what I think might happen, but I'll save that.
I mean, last year, Victoria really trolled us because she was also at the Fan Fest last year. But the day of the event, she posted on Twitter, which is now known as X, which is stupid in my opinion, that she was not going to be there. And then later that same night, she actually appeared as a special guest referee for one of the matches.
Right. Yeah, they always got something up their sleeve. So it's going to be a great weekend, and there's a lot to look forward to.
And discussing from last year, I mean, last year they had a lot of major stars competing at F1RST Wrestling, such as All Ego Ethan Page, Colt Cabana, and Rob Van Dam and Dante Martin, who were actually supposed to be the main event of that night, but then was later changed to an impromptu tag team match between RVD, Dante Martin, and the Trustbusters.
Yes.
Carson,
Yeah,
I would hurry
I
up.
honestly was looking more forward to the one-on-one match, but the tag team match was okay.
Another superstar who was there last year, or who we don't really talk about enough, is the former AEW International Champion, Orange Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
Bro.
And let me tell you, me and Max ran into him right after the show. He is exactly what you think he is.
Whatever.
I've met him probably 4 times now, and each time I love Orange Cat. I love me some freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy.
I'm a little disappointed that they didn't get him again for this year. I'm also disappointed that they didn't do the First Wrestling Hotline, because last year they had a First Wrestling Hotline where you could actually receive a voicemail from a superstar that was going to be at the show that they didn't announce.
Right. Yeah, no, that was a cool thing. It gave you the retro feel of the 90s, you know.
Who do you think's going to be there? What are your guys' guesses? That's what I'm curious about. Who do you guys think are going to be there?
I think
I got to tell you, I would love. I don't know if Matt Hardy's going to be there on Saturday. We know he's going to be at the Fan Fest.
I think he's going to surprise us. How awesome would
it be if
Jeff
was there too? Imagine that.
His brother Jeff, I think, will be. I think they're going to surprise us with Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys, taking on the team of. I can't even think of that. I don't know why I just went straight on into that. But no,
and I want to get, if that happens, we need I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I need Jeff Hardy to do a swanton bomb off of the second floor into the ring.
Are you out of your mind, man?
That's where I'm thinking, second floor.
No, I'm kidding. Not with everything he's got going on now. But I mean, seriously though, it would be great to have some sort of big surprises, and they just announced today that it's going to be actually on pay-per-view too.
Yes, they did announce that it will be on Fight TV for $12.99.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. And then the ring is up at MOA as we speak.
Yeah, I saw that today. I mean, I actually might show the boys the ring today, as I might. He doesn't want to, but
you're gonna head over to the MOA?
Nah, I'm gonna go to tomorrow. I'll see it tomorrow. Honestly,
you got to do what. Yeah, I'll see it tomorrow too. You got to do what Bruce's buddy did. Dude just hopped the barricade and jumped in the ring.
How did that go?
No, please don't do that.
He didn't even get in trouble.
Did George?
It was like during the day, like 2 days before, when nothing was going on.
Yeah, my buddy Trent snuck in to the wrestling ring and surprisingly did not get tossed out.
Yeah, he was able to get away with it. You know, I wouldn't test my luck. But
I don't know if he's going to try and get away with that again this year. However, I am a little concerned for one of the wrestlers that's going to be there, and that certain someone is Eric Redbeard, otherwise known as Eric Rowan for WWE fans.
Right.
The reason why I'm concerned is because it's been almost 2 weeks since the passing of Wyndham, otherwise known as Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, you know, it's unfortunate.
And Ryan, my buddy Ryan's gonna meet him, and I said to him, I was like, just be soft, be kind about it. If you do bring up Bray, just be soft and cool about it.
I mean, I'm honestly hoping that fans don't ask him about Bray, because the wounds are probably still very fresh. Because, I mean, when I met him a few months ago, I had asked him about the Exalted One, Mr. Brody Lee, otherwise known as Luke Harper. And that was like years after his death. But this time around, I don't think I'm going to ask him about Bray Wyatt, because the wounds are still probably very fresh. And
it's pretty.
Honestly, I'm shocked he didn't pull out of the show, because honestly, some wrestlers during those times do pull out of shows to take some time, but I think he knows that it's part that he's got to, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't have really blamed him if he did.
Yeah, I honestly thought he was going to cancel as well,
but he didn't, and it means he wants to pull through it. So, all right.
Yeah, you know, I just hope people don't bring it up, because it's like everybody knows. There's no reason to bring it up, especially with how recent it is. I mean, what's the point, really?
I mean, for those of you that don't know, Eric Redbeard will be in action on Saturday night for Saturday Night Nitro against Jordan.
Yep. Yep,
Oh, I'm
that's
sorry
gonna
to interrupt. I should like to say we have some special guests. We have the Grand Master of Hockey, Brendan Wong, and the A-Town Down, Ashton Perupski. and then we got the Nikki. And either way, sorry, you were saying?
Surprised you don't have Aaron there with you.
that match though of Jordan versus Rowan. They did that match at Taste of Minnesota this summer.
They did?
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that one. I was kind of filtering in and out around the ring, just kind of hanging out sometimes. But when I was there at one point, I happened to catch that match. I don't know if you saw that one or not, but Bruce. But it was so I saw that one. But it'll be interesting to see it again. I think we all know who's gonna win that, but
yeah.
This is highly unlikely too, but imagine he gets Braun Strowman to go in there with him, but probably not.
I highly doubt that.
He's under contract to WWE. So.
I'm thinking, honestly, this is very highly unlikely and maybe an unpopular choice, but honestly be interesting. And a name that hasn't popped up in about 2 years. I would love to see Austin Aries come in.
Austin Aries? Why him?
He's a 5-time world champion and underdog in one of his first title match in TNA. If you remember, he beat Bobby Roode, probably at the time he was at the time the longest reigning world heavyweight champion in the history of Impact Wrestling.
Yes, I remember that. That's when he created Option C with the X Division title, I believe.
I would love to see that, and it may not happen, but it would be interesting to see Austin Aries compete in Minnesota, as he was trained, if you remember, by Eddie Sharkey.
Yeah.
So he's a Minnesota wrestler.
I remember that. A lot of guys were trained by Eddie Sharkey. He bred a lot of Minnesota talent.
However, there is one big name that was at last year's Saturday Night Nitro who's not going to be at the Fan Fest tomorrow night, and that is the former WrestlePalooza heavyweight champion, Darin Corbin. He recently posted on his YouTube channel that he is not going to be at the Fan Fest because he does not want to put on a fake smile and just pretend to be happy for the fans who do not support him. However, he will be at Saturday Night Nitro, and if you recall last year, he was in the opener against the Anarchist,
Eric Cannon.
Yes, thank you, Eric Cannon. And later in the show, he came out paying homage to Lex Luger with his get-up.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then only to get his ass beat by ECW legend Jerry Lynn.
Yeah, I noticed that last year there was a lot of famous names there. This year, I'm not seeing a lot of that, but that is fine because it's the second one. But
then the other thing too is it makes me wonder: are they saving some big names as a surprise? Because I was actually watching Ethan Page's vlog last year when he was at MOA, and after the event, he was talking to Eric Cannon in the vlog, and Eric Cannon wanted to keep RVD a surprise last year, but people influenced them to advertise them earlier. So
I can
it really
respect
makes me wonder if they're gonna.
I know Eric's done that, and Jeremy told me he might. I was talking with Second Wrestling owner, my old rabbi, Jeremy Fine, just about a week ago. He was telling me that if you guys remember a few years ago at the synagogue when they surprised us with Rhino.
Yep, I was at that one. Were you?
I was at too. If you remember what happened.
I mean, imagine they get at Rhino to take on Darin Corbin this year, another ECW legend who is famously known in ECW and WWE and Impact Wrestling. And he's done it all. Former ECW champion, a tag team champion, a hardcore champion.
Man, could you imagine And this is just another name where I'm like, won't happen. But just imagine a pop if all of a sudden you hear the static.
I can
Look
guarantee
in
you.
my
I
eyes.
can guarantee you that the entire rotunda will erupt if they manage to get CM Punk, but I really don't think they're going to get CM Punk.
Dude, honestly, I don't think CM Punk is interested right now because he just got fired. I don't think Eric Cannon. I'm sorry, I keep saying his real name. That's how I know him as.
Well, yeah, considering you punched him in the face.
No, that was Darin.
Oh, that was Darin?
I'm talking about Eric Cannon. I said
That's why
right.
when you mentioned Darin Corbin, I was like, who Michael has a history with.
Right. That's
yeah.
You might want to avoid him at Saturday Night Nitro because, for those of you that don't know, the Golden Knight has had a physical altercation with a wrestler, like a legit physical altercation.
Yeah,
man.
And honestly,
I was surprised he didn't knock his teeth out.
I'm surprised I didn't get knocked out, but I think I think he was honestly he put on a smile and said it was fine and he forgave me. I think honestly he was pissed in the back, but he calmed down.
Yeah, Scott Steiner shouldn't let fans hit wrestlers either.
But that's Steiner for you. He always goes off the script and he always does this thing. I don't think we're going to see Scott Steiner though at another First Wrestling show for quite a long time.
Yeah, the Steiners.
I think he was expecting you to slap him.
Yeah, the Steiners.
Punch, and then mid-swing, he says, "Wait, slap him." I'm like, you don't say that mid-punch, dude.
Yeah, I mean the Steiners are very controversial. And I would not be surprised if we don't see them at any other wrestling events in the near future. Especially the whole incident with Rick Steiner at WrestleCon in LA. But we won't get into that.
Man, honestly, God, I would love to see though Al Snow as well, if anything.
And
that'd be another funny one.
There's another big name from ECW that could possibly be involved. I mean, I actually commented on Darin Corbin's video that he should wrestle Matt Hardy because Matt Hardy is another former ECW champion, but not well known because he was ECW champion during the WWE version of ECW, which a lot of fans do not recognize as ECW.
That is not ECW.
No, I don't. I mean, it was ECW, but it wasn't, not the one that everybody knew and loved. But another interesting name would be if they could get Christian Cage. That'd be an interesting one.
I really don't know
if the contract with AEW. I think it's contract.
They can get guys who are with AEW.
Yeah, they did
AEW.
There's some wrestlers that don't have that in their contract clause, like because Matt Hardy with his contract, he put in that he wants to be allowed to make independent scene wrestling appearances, and that is a smart one right there to do.
I mean,
on your contract.
Yeah, because I know some guys who are under contract with AEW can do independent shows, and it's there's no exceptions with that whatsoever with WWE.
AEW is very flexible with allowing their wrestlers to go to other companies such as AAA, like New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, MAW, First Wrestling. And you'd be surprised with how flexible Tony Khan has been with a lot of his wrestlers. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see any more of his wrestlers get announced. In fact,
Acclaimed.
Oh, shoot.
The Acclaimed.
A scissor party in the MLA?
Oh, boy.
You kidding me? I mean, seriously, we had a scissor party with Daddy, Billy Gunn.
Yes. Earlier this year, here Max, Michael, and I went to a MAW show where Billy Gunn was going to be at, and we all got I'm not gonna say it, somebody else can say it.
We got the scissor down. We got the scissor party going there.
We all scissored each other.
Sad part is that's actually true. I will leave a link to that vlog in the description and on my YouTube channel right after this.
Yeah, it was so funny how Bruce got on the camera and I was in the entranceway going, "What?"
But imagine if they got the Acclaimed. I know for a fact. I'm getting ahead of myself, like I said. I don't know what will happen, but it'll be interesting to see. Imagine we get Max Caster saying, "Hey, there's got to be a scissor store somewhere in this mall."
I mean, First Wrestling has produced some of the greatest wrestlers that are in the wrestling world today, such as the Ring of Honor World Champion Claudio Castagnoli, the Penta El Zero Miedo, Top Flight, Ethan Page, along with many others.
A lot of guys were in First Wrestling before they made their debut. Hell, another few names are Seth Rollins, Johnny Gargano. Hell, even MJF. They've all competed. They've all had matches in First Wrestling prior to signing with larger companies such as WWE or AEW, you know? So
Another underrated one that we've yet to mention is this very nice, very evil Danhausen. Him and Orange Cassidy made their names for themselves on First Wrestling.
yeah, I was at the show where they I think they had a tag team match. It was March 8th, 2020. It was Saturday Night Nitro at Rosedale Mall in Roseville. And Orange Cassidy and Danhausen defeated Heavy Metal Lore and Darin Corbin. I think that was his name, Heavy Metal Lore. He's got the long hair.
Yeah, it's Lore. It's got to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely gonna be fun to watch.
One thing I'm really hoping that doesn't happen tomorrow, because I'm going to be wearing my MAW Warriors t-shirt, and I'm really hoping that Aaron Cannon isn't really too salty about that, because there is some heat between Midwest All-Star Wrestling and First Wrestling.
Oh, I just want to announce about the wrestling event. We are going to be in November talking about it and seeing where we are at Hope Fieldhouse money-wise, but making sure that I'm good to go to say this. Yes, I will not we at Hope Fieldhouse will not be doing business with First Wrestling ever, just because if you know some of his comments he made had something to do with the special needs. One of Ken Anderson's special needs students who was actually, and I do not want to do wrestling business with him for that.
Yeah, man, it's just the politics, like, of the backstage politics are just insane. But
it's smart, just best for the field house, because we don't support that kind of stuff.
I mean, wrestling's not supposed to be political. It's supposed to be a sport that people enjoy to watch.
It is, but also we have a mission that we have to follow, and he, that's against our mission. That's all.
yeah, you said you're looking at doing it in November.
No. We're gonna talk about it, and we might do it next, like maybe summer. We're hoping, and it's gonna be MAW probably.
That's
and
probably
will be. It might be even.
How much money do you need? Like, you have to have money to bring them in.
I think so. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we have to pay for, and then they'll pay for the venue part, I guess, for hosting. They'll pay, and we'll probably, yeah, it will all get worked out. We'll just got to see when we can do it.
I was gonna say you should get the Salt of the Earth MJF on the show, but he might be a little bit out of your price range.
We'll see how MAW works and if they pay for the wrestlers or they're what I mean. Don't they have
what I've looked into in the past is they have sponsors, so they have like restaurants or stores and businesses that actually will pay the booking fee, and in return, like, they will get the sponsorship. They'll get like by bringing in like a certain big name. Like, I've seen it, like
Kurt Angle.
Like, when they did, like, this is just an example. They'll be like Kurt Angle coming and to this is a few years ago. Kurt Angle coming to Grand Slam, brought to you by this. This is just made up by like Tony's Pizza in Roseville or whatever. You know, like a certain business will pay that, and in return, when they get their name connected to that, so it will hopefully give them business back. You know.
But
Yeah,
then
and
again,
I think that will work. Yeah, we'll see though.
But then again, it's not really a guarantee because we don't even know where MJF is going to land, and because of his whole bidding war of 2024 bullshit.
Oh, I
That
can't
was not.
wait.
That was not meant to be said. This isn't. That was meant to. That just slipped out.
Who's it gonna be? Number 30. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's probably going to be CM Punk. Okay, hey, let's get. Okay, let's get back to.
Oh my God! It's Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Can we please get back to First Wrestling? These guys just love to torture me with MJF.
And the person who entered at number 1, Cody Rhodes. But Cody Rhodes and MJF, the last 2 in the Royal Rumble. Oof.
Okay,
what a moment that would be.
Hey, let's fantasy book later. We're getting off topic. We're supposed to be talking about First Wrestling and trying to help promote it, even though they're not paying us to do that.
Oh man, I don't know what else is there to say. You know, I mean, it's going to be a good show.
I mean, there are some recognizable wrestlers who I'm hoping will be there, but they haven't announced yet. Like Thunder Frog. Last year, he actually won a battle royal that was taking place in the show. It was like what, maybe like 25 people.
Yeah, I mean
that hammer.
Yeah, that
down,
hammer shot. That flying hammer shot, and they made the whole ring shake, and everybody just bounced out of the ring all at once.
Yeah, who's gonna get some Pepsi Zero Sugar this weekend?
Oh yeah, that's the sponsor for First Wrestling thing is the Pepsi Zero Sugar.
They were giving out free cans of Pepsi last year.
My goal next year is to get in that golden circle, first 3 rows. I will save whatever money I need to do that.
I mean, Max and I actually waited until the tickets went on sale first thing, and we kept refreshing the website until one of us got through, and we had to buy 5 tickets.
Yeah, and I think only 5 minutes later I saw that it sold out.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. I was so lucky to get to the second floor because my boys wanted to go to the second floor. I'm like, dude, they sold it out, so you're gonna have to go to the 3rd floor. So my buddies David, Ryan, and Aaron are gonna be on the 3rd floor. You know Aaron, the flame right there. He's gonna be on the 3rd floor with Ryan and David at Nitro, and I'm gonna be alone on the 2nd floor.
You know that it's standing room only up there, right?
Yep, I know, and I'll be fine standing.
And actually, last year there was a small indication with me and Ethan Page. So, actually, there's 2 altercations. One was at the Fan Fest, and the other was actually during the show. So, during the Fan Fest, I'm sitting there patiently waiting in line just to meet him because he's taking the time to interact with his fans. Michael, turn your TV down.
I don't have a TV. It's these 2 goofballs. 1 sec. Hey!
Oh, sorry, dude. Anyways, Ethan Page was taking his time meeting with fans because he's actually very interactive with fans, and he will not cut off a conversation. And I was waiting there for like a good 15 to 20 minutes. Finally got to meet him, and we talked for a little bit. He signed an autograph for me. And I accidentally knocked over all the autographs I collected that night. And Max was recording this. That's on my YouTube channel. I'll leave a link to that after this. Ethan Page is actually a very nice guy for somebody who calls himself all ego.
No, he was a great guy.
But during the show, he was the second match on the show right after Darin Corbin and Nick Cannon. He was facing a wrestler by High C, and something like that. I don't remember what the hell his name was, but
Jossie,
thank you.
who, by the way, has been on WWE a few times.
You can tell me more about that in just a second. But Ethan Page ended up going outside of the ring and just freaking out. We were right behind another row, so I leaned over and tapped him on the shoulder, and he freaked out, and he thought the people in the front row tapped him, and he shouted, "Don't touch me!"
Yeah, because my buddy David was sitting in the front row, and he actually yelled at him, and he was like, "It wasn't even me."
I tried to tell him that was me, but Ethan Page wasn't really listening, and he was trying to focus on his match. So,
yeah, he's all ego. Ethan Page got to show his ego in the ring.
Yeah, I just asked Matt Hardy. Oh shoot, that's actually a good question that we should ask him tomorrow night. If All Ego and Matt Hardy are actually legit friends, because on television and they work together, but I don't know if they're like that in real life. I mean, we'll get to that in just a second. So, Max, you were telling me about that other wrestler that Ethan Page wrestled last year. He actually did a few matches in WWE.
Yeah, so actually, I don't know about. I shouldn't have said matches. He's made a few WWE appearances. For starters, he was one of the guards who walked Dominic Mysterio to the ring at WrestleMania 39.
Really?
Yeah, and he was also exotic male dancer for a backstage scene on Raw. If you remember a couple of years ago, or within the last year, probably. I don't remember. Who was it? There was going to be a wedding or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, he's had a couple of small roles as like an extra.
I mean, extras go on to make the biggest stars. I mean, look at MJ. I'm not even going to finish that.
MJF. I mean, but Bryan Danielson, LA Knight.
Yeah.
Claudio Castagnoli. Oh, and speaking of LA Knight, I ordered his new shirt over 2 weeks ago, and it said it wasn't going to ship out until September 18th, but I just got an email today that said the shipment is delayed because they've had an overwhelming number of orders on this t-shirt. This man is over. I'm telling you.
And he might be
Whose
over.
game is it? L.A. Nice.
Yeah.
Let me talk to you.
But that's the first round. Wrestling. There's also going to be. Huh?
I know Bruce has seen it, but Michael, have you seen this since I bought it?
I have not seen that. That looks awesome.
I got the new WWE Undisputed Universal Championship.
That's pretty cool, dude. I mean, I don't know if you're going to do this or not. I'm definitely going to be wearing one of my championship belts during the show because I will be in my full Macho Man Randy Savage costume because it's part of my character for my YouTube channel. But speaking of YouTube channels, Max has actually reviewed what that belt is and what that belt looks like. I'll leave a link to that in the description below.
Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate that.
Always willing to put over a friend, man.
Yeah, I'm the tribal chief now, and so this, and then hopefully within the next couple of months, I can get the new World Heavyweight Championship. But it's a little crowded in here right now. But as you guys can see, I got to show it off always, Yeah,
Max always likes to show off his belts. It's a major flex for him. But speaking of belts, I did notice one thing. There is one belt that has not been advertised for Saturday Night Nitro, and that is the WrestlePalooza Championship belt. I know they have the FVW Uptown Championship belt that's going to be defended on Saturday. And also, speaking of champions, the AAA Mega Champion and Del, I forget his name, but like I know who I'm talking about. I just don't remember his name. And like he recently wrestled Kenny Omega in a Major Dream match, which was a fine match, by the way, which definitely made me a fan of his. And there's going to be a Fatal 4-Way Lucha style match, but it is not for the AAA Mega Championship, even though it probably should be, just because the World Champion is going to be there.
Are you talking about El Hijo del Vikingo?
Yes, that's him. Thank you.
Yeah. My Spanish isn't great, so.